Michele are podcast's most interesting and loving couple. Join them every week as this radio personality and this author come together to let you into their lives.
So, ladies, we're going to do an icebreaker, but I have a clip that we're going to open with because it's the girls only show and it's going to be a good time.
7 things that men do to upset women. Number 1, lie. Number 2, be honest. Number 3, not talk. Number 4, talk too much. Number 5, not show emotions. Number 6, be too emotional. And number 7, breathe.
Yo, why are some of those so accurate though?
They're incredibly active.
Especially the last one.
Oh,
Shut up, Chris. God. This isn't about you. Okay.
It's all about me. Don't worry about
it. It goes down in the DM, and tonight's episode is all about the ladies. So I got a few of my closest girlfriends who have been in long-term relationships to come on and shoot the shit with me. Our significant others are here, but they're silent until the end. But it's going to be a good time. So before we jump into the actual action, let me introduce you to my co-hosts for today, and then they can tell you a little bit about themselves. So without further ado, Lizzie from the Seeing Change podcast. Lizzie, how are you? Tell our listeners about yourself.
I am so good. Hi, everybody. I'm Lizzie Muhammad Park. I am just outside the D.C. area. I go there for school right now to become a diplomat. I'm getting a master's in international relations. And basically, I've been married for, almost 4 years now. And basically, yeah, we're just hanging out, having fun, living life.
Lizzie, I love you so much. And I'm so glad you threw married in there at the end because you sounded like a real life dating profile. Like you just needed some emojis. It'd be great. Marana. Hi, Marana.
Hey, what's up?
Tell us about you.
So, I am Marana Vredenberg. I live in sunny California, and my significant other on here is Chris. We've been together for just over a year, and I'm a certified personal trainer and a nutrition specialist, and so that is an interest in a hobby of mine, and I also work for a couple of funeral homes currently.
She knows where the bodies are buried, you guys. Precious, my favorite little sister, one of my favorite people in the world. How are you?
hello. I'm good today.
Tell us about you.
My name is Precious Perez as an artist, and now Precious Lowe as just married life and other identification purposes. My significant other is Shane, and we've been married for not very long. Like 7 months now, almost 8. And I am a singer-songwriter, disability advocate, music educator, and a couple other things, but that's basically all for now.
Let me tell you something, you guys. My friends are extraordinary, and I love them, and I'm so excited about this episode. So I've got an icebreaker. I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and we are going to have a good time. I think it's going to be a good time. So, the first get-to-know-you question, I'm going to throw it at you, Marana. What was your favorite dish as a kid?
What was my favorite dish as a kid?
Yeah.
Are we talking like food or dessert? Because I was a fat kid.
Either one is fine.
So my favorite was probably something that we call layer dessert. It is, it's basically a crust that we make, and then it's got chocolate pudding, and then a cream cheese layer, and then Cocoa Whip on top, and it is deliciousness. So that's the most thing that I can remember the most. I mean, I like all kinds of stuff, but that's what I remember the most.
That actually does sound really good.
It is really good. I'll make it for you sometime.
Good. When we come in September, I'll look forward to it, if I remember.
That sounds great.
Lizzie, what is something that made you smile in the last 24 hours?
Michelle, see, the thing about your questions is that I don't have an answer on the spot ever, but like tomorrow morning I'll wake up and I'm like, I should have said this. So something that made me smile the last 24 hours, I've been pretty stressed out. I need a good joke. I don't know, like don't ask me what the joke was, but I'm sure I've heard some joke. It just like made me laugh.
I like it. Precious, what is one of your proudest moments?
Oh my God. Why did you do this to me? I don't think it's happened yet. The one that I'm thinking of, but it's about to happen.
I love it. Lizzie, if you could only watch one genre of movie for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
You're asking the wrong person. I'm not a movie person. So if I had to pick one, I would have to go back to my childhood and we'd be watching Disney. And it's because it's just something that would make me happy. And it would just be fun and cute.
I love it. Marana, tell me about a stranger who impacted your life.
Strangers impact my life all the time, but the one I can remember most distinctly, I was in Fresno and I had an Uber driver pick me up, and he didn't speak English very well, very broken English. But at the end of the ride, or towards the end of the ride, he told me basically that I was light, that I radiate light. And I know he was just speaking to my personality and attitude. He said, "You radiate light." And it was just a very proud moment for me, because I felt like the things that I work towards in, I am a Christian, and the Bible says they'll know we're Christians by our love. And so I felt like he was seeing in me what I want people to see in me. And that just made me really proud.
I love it. Precious, what grosses you out?
Certain words, particularly loins, moist.
Oh, I hate moist.
There's probably, weenus is the third one. Hey, shut up, bro. Oh my God.
I love his laugh track. Like,
I know, he's
the
just
laugh
back
track
there
for us.
fucking laughing at me. He
It's all the
clapped
diphthongs,
earlier for the
Precious.
non-movie people. He just unmuted and clapped on purpose.
I saw that.
Man.
We need more of us.
No, that's false.
More men!
Let's not get carried away. Lizzie, what's your least favorite food to eat?
My least favorite. Can we have options? I need multiple choice. I need something to springboard.
Let me tell you
Michelle, I'm not
something.
a
I
night
didn't
person.
write these questions. I can only give you what I'm reading.
I'm not a nighttime person, y'all. I wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. My least favorite food. It'd probably be something. Okay, name something like really fatty that just makes you feel heavy, but like it doesn't have flavor. That would be my least favorite food. Whatever that
Meatloaf.
is. No, I like meatloaf.
Ugh. All right, we're done with this part. I could let me down.
Unseasoned fried chicken.
No, I love fried chicken. See,
But like,
but
if
no,
it's
fried
not,
chicken has flavor.
How about
Some of
like
it
chicken
doesn't,
nuggets?
No, I like chicken nuggets too. Maybe is that the problem? I like everything.
Something's your problem. I don't
Something like I don't know. Okay, moving on.
All right, ladies. Thank you for indulging me and letting our audience get to know you a little bit. Now we are going to jump into some of the fun stuff. Honey, I sent you a TikTok. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this. This is wild.
You're always sending wild TikToks and
yeah.
If we are friends and I invite you and only you somewhere and you bring your partner with you, your romantic partner with you, that's the last time I'm ever going to invite you anywhere. I just saw this TikTok of this girl who invited her best friend out to like Six Flags or something, and her best friend brought her man along unprovoked. Like, do y'all not see how disrespectful that is? Especially in like a girl context. Like, if we're trying to have a girls' day and you're bringing your man, that's just awkward. Like, I can't even be your friend without your man being all up your tail. And I understand you want to have fun time with your partner, and that's cool too. But let me know before you invite this random man or girl unprovoked. I just think that a lot of people do not put a lot of value into platonic relationships, and that's why y'all are always ruining them accidentally, because you're placing your romantic relationship above your platonic relationship. And similarly, if I invite you somewhere and all you do is talk about your partner, you're not going to get invited anywhere else. No.
So
I have
before
so much
we,
to say.
me too. And before we jump into this, can we address the fact that she used unprovoked incorrectly at least 3 times?
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
What I was
It
thinking.
was like,
I
is
was
that the
first of
only
all-
multiple syllable word you know? She can't
Yeah.
She just kept saying unprovoked. I'm
Unprovoked.
like,
Like
nobody.
unprovoked. What are you trying to make her angry? Like what are you trying to do?
Like, man. And then let me tell you, I was mad that I really overall liked what she said. So before I give my thoughts, let me say this last thing about her. I knew it was gonna be tough when I saw the picture of her, because she's like one of those black chicks with the blonde hair.
Oh my.
And then she did the black girl clap, 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 clap. I said, shit.
Oh my
We're not
God.
gonna do well.
It's
But-
about to go down.
But hold on. No, I got a question. I know I'm not the host, but
No,
I gotta
we're
throw
all
something.
hosting
Is she
together.
Oh, I love this. Even better. Don't tell me that, Michelle. You made a mistake right there. Does she not have a man? Is that the problem? That's what I
That's
want
what
to
I
know.
was thinking too. Yes.
No, you see, here's what I think, because this happened to me recently. This was with one of my married friends, and I
not
had
me.
gone back. No, it was not you.
It was me. My bad.
Shut up. I had gone to like back home, and I had planned a girls' night with a couple of my girls, and she couldn't make it. And her and another friend couldn't make it. So I texted them in a group chat, said, "Hey girls, since you couldn't come to this thing, do you want to have lunch together?" My friend texts back, she goes, "Oh yeah, we'll be home all day tomorrow, so that's no problem." And I don't know, for me it's like, look, I know you're married and I know y'all do a lot together, but if this is specifically a girls thing, at least ask. At least check that it's cool, because most of the time I don't care, but like if we're just trying to talk shit as women and like you can't really do that
No.
if the
Right.
guy's there, and he was the only guy there when we went, and it was awkward. So like there are certain circumstances where it's like, bro, like at least ask or clarify that like, hey, it's gonna be both of us, or like if it's explicitly stated as like hanging out, ladies thing, ladies night, like don't
Right.
do that. Don't do that.
My issue with this is like significant others should encourage you to keep those platonic relationships healthy. Like one of the things I really love about Danny is how much he loves my friendships with my girlfriends and how he knows that's truly healthy. But also, there are things that my girlfriends can provide for me that he just can't as a man. And so I would never presume to bring him somewhere without conversing with my friends, especially because me and Danny, as married people and as a couple, sometimes get lost in each other. And so then we forget to include the people around us. And that would be my issue. It's like, if you wanted to go to Six Flags with your boyfriend, then go as a couple. Don't bring him along on our girls' day, and then I get excluded. Even if it's not intentional, it does tend to happen.
It does happen, yeah.
I agree with that, but here's my thing. It sounds to me, and I don't know because I wasn't there, so I always throw that out as a caveat. But it sounds to me like this friend who brought the boyfriend didn't know that it was a girls' day. That's kind of how it sounds like. Oh, do you want to go to Six Flags? And it's like, oh yeah, and I got. It sounds like this girl has already met the boyfriend. Like they have some type of an established friendship where she's met the boyfriend before. It's not the first time. I feel like in the beginning of the relationship, you have to keep saying, oh, can I bring my boyfriend? Can I bring this person? Can I bring? But when you kind of know that it's a package deal, I think you kind of know, I'm not about to just know that Shane and Precious are in town and only invite Precious out unless I'm like, hey, like, listen, like we need to talk, we need to have, girl time. You know what I mean? But I would specify. But otherwise, if I'm inviting Precious, I'm assuming that Shane's coming, and if he doesn't come, he doesn't come, and if he does, he does. I'm not gonna feel any type of way, if that makes sense. Like, it's the lows. Like, I'm inviting the lows. I'm not just. I don't know.
No, it makes sense. The clarity needs to be there.
I think, the clarity, like, for sure, as far as, like, all right, is this, like, exclusively say, hey, I want to spend time with just you, whatever.
Right.
And I think, like, when it's like that and it's, like, a ladies' night, you're not going to be like, hey, come with me to
Why
this
would he want to
ladies'
go?
thing. Right, you don't want to be there. But, like, otherwise, whatever, dude. Like, I don't usually care, but I think, the reason why I agree is in that context of like, hey, this is a girl specific thing, and you're just like, okay, cool, I'm gonna bring him, and I'm like, girl, now I'm uncomfortable. Like,
I think if her best friend happens to hear this, please buy her a dictionary. That's what I gotta say.
I think one of the big takeaways from this too is she made a point about platonic friendships, and people unintentionally ruin their friendships with their single friends because they get so immersed in that new person, and then the breakup happens or whatever, and then you want to go back to your friends like shit's all copacetic when it's not.
You know what I've noticed is a lot of times you'll stop hearing from them during like the honeymoon phase, but also you tend to hear from them more whenever their relationship with the significant other is healthy. If it's unhealthy and there's a lot of conflict, then you don't hear from them so much. Have you guys noticed that? I've noticed that with one of my friends. So when she was in a healthy relationship, she and I used to go out and do stuff all the time. Now she's in a relationship with a guy where there's no trust. There's none of that. And I never hear from her anymore. And I don't know if it's because she feels like she's got to constantly keep an eye on him. Like she's always babysitting him, making sure he's not stepping out or what. But then I'll hear from her once that falls apart.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it go both ways. Like sometimes they'll be quieter or they'll just like keep talking to you or whatever. But I also, the point that she made about like going out somewhere and only talking about your partner the whole time, I feel like that in itself is not super healthy if you're not able to hold conversations with your platonic friends that are outside of your significant other, because that's just not conducive to socializing properly.
I think too, people need to find the balance of talking about your significant other when things are good and talking about them when things are bad, because we as females especially have a tendency to go to our friends and like gripe about our partners when we're upset, but we don't always go to them and be like, oh my God, he did this sweet thing today, or he's doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm so happy about it. And I think that's when it becomes too much. When you go out with your friends and all they have to do is like dump everything, whether it's good or bad, there has to be a balance there.
Yeah, that's what Facebook is for.
Truth.
Oh no, not Facebook.
Truth.
See, I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like, well, for me, and I wanted to go back to Marana, to something that you said, because, so I have a friend, and she will only talk to me when things are unhealthy in her relationship. And it's not so much that she wants to talk about the unhealthy thing. It's just that she wants to be like, ha, I have friends too. So it's kind of like, she's like distancing herself from him or whatever. And then she'll, be closer to me, which honestly, I'm not mad at her about. I'm not really the type to say like, oh, well, what happened to your man? Because I do recognize that she still needs her friends too. You know what I mean? And she needs people to have her back and to not judge her. I mean, it does sound like a honeymoon thing to me. Even like only talking about your boyfriend all the time. It sounds like you're just excited about the relationship, so that's all you want to talk about. But like that gets old, and you'll go back to having a life. And if you don't go back to having a life, and that is all that you can talk about, honestly, he's probably the only person you're gonna want to spend time with anyway. So that's just, which I don't think that makes the healthiest relationship.
I agree. Sure. She also said something that really resonated with me, and I say this to people all the time: treat your friendships like your relationships. Like, give them the same kind of value, give them the same kind of time, give them the same kind of attention. That way, if something happens, like I fell off for a few days, and Marana and Precious instantly knew, like, something's going on with Michele. This isn't normal. Whereas if our friendships weren't healthy, it would be like, oh, she'll be back in 2 to 3 months. But we're healthier than that.
Right.
And it's so important to have that kind of health with your friends and to maintain, and so that they know it goes both ways. Like, if they ever both fell off for too long, I would track them bitches down. Hello, knock knock. You're not answering the phone. If Precious is the OG, she'll call my husband. Where's your wife? She good?
Yeah, I did that this morning. I said, I heard from her the other day, but is she okay? Like, how's she doing? You all good? You need anything?
I love this. Look, we've got so much more show coming. I have another video clip for you guys, and we're gonna bust out some things we wished we knew about dating.
What is something you wish you knew about dating sooner? I'll go first. There should not be a version of them that you like and a version of them that you don't like. Like, if you ever catch yourself being like, sometimes he makes me feel like crap, but sometimes it's so good. No. Because the person you're supposed to be with should be consistently a good version of themselves. And you shouldn't have to worry about what type of version of them you're gonna get that day. Even people who are toxic for you have nice sides and nice moments. It doesn't mean you should be with them. Because let me just tell you right now, it is not normal to worry about how they're gonna treat you any given day. You deserve better than that.
Marina, first tell me something you wish you knew about dating, and then tell me what you think about this video.
Something I wish I knew about dating. I tend to try to be nice, and I try to let people down easy, and I never want to be just rude or whatever, but sometimes it's hard for people to pick up what you're putting down if you're not just being absolutely blunt and maybe even sometimes abrasive. I wish that I would have been better at not... I don't want to say leading people on, but kind of letting things linger whenever you knew. I think I wasted a lot of time with people that I knew things weren't going to go anywhere just because I felt bad about hurting their feelings or whatever. And I just wish I would have known that hurting people's feelings and getting your feelings hurt are all a part of the deal.
I like it. Precious?
Oh, there are the thing I wish I knew is that there are certain things that shouldn't deserve second chances.
That's a good one.
That's
Lizzie?
really good, yeah.
Michelle, I don't have one yet. You want to go first?
You need Andy, huh?
No, I need time
he's
to
your
think.
counterbalance.
And no, I need time to think, but also that is true. We do balance each other out really well.
Yeah. Like, he's your counterbalance. I love it.
That's why I married him.
Smart girl. Yes, I'll go first so you can have more time. Honey, can you give her a little Jeopardy theme song? I feel like she needs she
Don't
needs some
pressure
singing
me.
time.
I'll say nothing. It'll make my thinking go even slower.
I wish I knew that you can be in a relationship with someone without being all about that person. I spent so much of my relationship with my ex being all about him, and I lost a lot of who I am. And it took me a few years of being single and casually dating and focusing on just myself and my mental health to realize it's not okay, even for someone to have that expectation that you're always going to be all about them. And I wish I knew that at the time. I'm glad. I hate you.
You know what, Danny?
I'm mad it took him so long to bust it out.
I didn't want to interrupt what you were saying. I thought what you were saying was very important.
But the amount of time I wasted not investing in myself, and now I'm in my 30s, and I feel like I'm still playing catch up, is something I wish I knew. I wish I knew at the time that it's okay to invest in myself.
I wish I would have known how to set my expectations too. For some reason, I'm sorry, Lizzie. I'm trying to give you more time.
You're good.
I'm buying you time, Lizzie. I'm buying you time.
Thank you.
But no, I felt like for some reason I never had the right to have expectations as well. Like I was the one that had to always make the concessions for what they wanted. But I mean, there were a lot of times like, I don't know if I can do this. You know what I mean? Like there were just things that I really wasn't comfortable with, but I felt like I had to do it. And I wasn't allowed to say, hey, this doesn't work for me. Because there were things that just didn't work for me, but I didn't know how to say, hey, this doesn't work for me.
I agree. And while we're waiting for Lizzie, I do also
I'm ready.
Okay. I see you.
But you go
What's
ahead.
wrong? Get your shit off.
No, you go first.
No, you go so you don't forget it.
I'm not, okay, what I was going to say, you're not going to like my answer. That's why I think you should just go first. But, okay. I feel like there's nothing that I really like wish I knew, because before going into dating, I really did a lot of research, which sounds crazy, but like I'm a nerd. I have no problem saying it. I'm a very proud nerd. And before I really got into dating, I read a lot of books. So I mean, some of them may be like controversial. Maybe you don't agree with every single thing that the person writes, but I like this. So like Become Your Own Matchmaker. That was my book. It's on Bookshare. Pick it up. Think Like a Man. That was a book that I read a couple times, and I bought it for other people too. Those are probably the two that I read the most. But it says everything that you all just talked about. So it's having expectations. Well, it's knowing yourself first and foremost. It's being comfortable with who you are and bringing your full self to a relationship. It's not taking anything off of anyone. It's knowing your worth. It's knowing that, things like how people feel like, oh, well, he bought me dinner, so I need to put out. No, like you gave him your time. He bought you a dinner, but you gave him your precious and valuable time and attention. You know what I mean? It's just all these different concepts that personally I feel like women need to know before going into dating. And then there won't really be these regrets. Because when I think of dating, like Michelle, when you first asked me this question, it's like, what do you wish you knew? I'm like, nothing, because I just had so much fun doing it. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. So, and I mean, honestly, I still date my husband, so I still enjoy dating,
I love it. I actually don't hate your answer for multiple reasons. A, I'm also a nerd. B, I read both books.
Yes.
And C, you have a point. If people were encouraged to do more research instead of being encouraged to sample, we probably would have more happy and healthy couples. So I don't hate your answer. And also, your answer leads into the second part of this video, which is knowing that you shouldn't date someone who has two different sides. And it's a hard pill to swallow. It's really hard to say, I don't have to deal with the bad side of you, especially when it's consistent. You see it all the time, of course, with domestic abuse situations where women get trapped in these relationships and it's really hard to leave. And then you start making excuses for their bad behavior. Or you see people with their kids like, oh, well, so-and-so is just like that. Funnily enough, and I hope my cousin never listens to this episode, but probably around 2011, my cousin and my mom got into an argument. And she called my mom a bitch. And my mom punched her in the eye. And my mom's sister got really upset about it. And was like, well, you know her. That's just how she is. Blah, blah, blah. And my mom was like, nah, she's not about to step up to me like she's grown and then not be able to take a punch. My cousin actually ran up on my mom like she was going to fight her. And she used to do her mom like that. I mean, she's better now, but back then she was a terror. And so my mom punched her in the face. And my mom was like, saying, oh, she's just like that isn't enough. Because she's not allowed to be like that. Like, first, she's not allowed to disrespect me. Like, how she treats you in your house is one thing. But she's not going to be allowed to disrespect me in mine. And we need to carry this over to relationships. We have to stop making excuses for our partner's bad behavior. Especially when it puts us in such a bad place. When our partners do something and then we're crying to our friends, our families, Facebook, or whatever, and then they just come home, and then they apologize, and then 3 weeks later, they're doing the same shit again that's making us cry. And then we just start saying, oh, well, that's just how he is. Or I did such and such to provoke that response. No, you didn't, and it's not your fault. And we need to start really encouraging that, because the world we live in encourages women to stay in toxic relationships. Or I'm crazy. And everyone's just quiet.
No, I was just like, amen, my bad.
I'm crazy.
I was taking that in. I was like, okay, she done preached today.
That was a mic drop. That was a mic drop, What can we say to that? Go to commercial or what?
Not go to commercial.
After the break.
I feel like One of the best, this is kind of not because we're all visually impaired here, but my cousin was actually giving dating advice to her mom who was recently divorced. And she told her, Kim was just finding guys that, maybe she was attracted to, but they ended up not getting along well or whatever. And so Katie finally told her that she needs to listen to men speak with her eyes closed, because she felt like the physical attraction was taking away from her ability to really get to know them as a person. And so, I think there's a lot to be said for that, just in listening to people talk. I mean, watching how they treat wait staff, watching how they treat others out in public, and just listening how they talk to you. I feel like one of the advantages that Chris and I had was the fact that we do, there is distance between us. So a lot of our relationship has been getting to talk and just really get to know one another. I mean, you do get to know somebody whenever all you have to do is talk, and you get to see how consistent they are, and get to hear them talk about their family and stuff like that. So I just want to say that I do think that there is a lot to that in just talking to someone and getting to know them, and over a period of time hopefully you'll get to see the good, bad, and the ugly.
You really do, because the last thing you need is a whole Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation. Finding out 1 minute that, oh, this person seems so sweet, or they look so handsome, or whatever, they're so hot, whatever, and then next thing you know, that mask comes off and they're this whole other person. So
you hear a lot about like these people that are like, yeah, it was a whirlwind romance and this, and they were fantastic until we got married.
There was a reason why they wanted to get married.
And then this and this and this, either they were abusive or they like were just had a temper or whatever the case may have been. I think people like, they're so excited, they jump into things so quickly that they forget to like really make sure that this is somebody that they really want to be with. Like people, I think there's a lot to do with like instant gratification, because people are like, oh, now I'm with somebody and now I can have the life I've always wanted, or they think that they can't get better than what they have currently, or there's a lot of reasons why people do that, but I think there's a lot to be said for really just taking your time to.
That's the society we live in, is instant gratification. I mean, we get 2-day shipping or 1-day shipping or same-day shipping. We have Uber Eats and how many apps where we can order whatever we want and have it at our door, in a few minutes. We've got Google. We've got, everything is instant these days. And so people want that in their relationships too. They want happiness overnight, and it doesn't take time. You have to learn how to live with somebody in order. You have to be happy with yourself before you can be happy with somebody else, first of all. But and expecting somebody to make you happy, in my opinion, is extremely selfish, because it's an endless pursuit, and it's an impossible one too. But they sure as hell can make you miserable. But expecting them to make you happy just isn't going to happen. But that doesn't come overnight either. I mean, it takes getting to know somebody and finding, where are the compromises? Like finding that groove, finding that sync, finding that rhythm that you guys get into before it's like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? And just taking time to enjoy somebody, enjoy their personality, enjoy the way they make you laugh. Do they make you laugh? I mean, or do you not like I've dated guys where I remember I'll be sitting there on the phone and be like, I do not enjoy this guy's personality at all. You know what I mean? But I wish I knew how to end those ones a lot sooner.
I think, too, it's important to have friends tell you when you're being a little bit toxic. Because, it's easy to recognize it in someone else, but it's not always easy to recognize that you yourself are contributing to the toxicity of the relationship. Yeah. And it can be something as simple as how you respond to something. Like, I can acknowledge there's been times where I've been toxic, and I've had good friends tell me, like, Michele, you kind of overstepped. Maybe you should apologize. Like, not to say how you were feeling was wrong, but how you approached those feelings is wrong. And because the world encourages us to seek happiness with another person and a bigger bank account, we don't always take time to check ourselves and to make sure that while we're out here crying toxic wolf, we're not actually the wolf.
Exactly. Exactly. And like, honestly, if your friends can't tell you that you're being toxic, or if you can't, you know, if you get mad and you don't want to be friends with somebody because they're telling you that you're being toxic and they're right, first of all, if they can't tell you that, then they're not your real friend. And second off, if you can't handle it, then you have a lot more, you're not ready for that friendship. Like, you have a lot more maturing to do. But like, you just need to be able to hear that. It's okay. Sometimes your friends are like, if they're your real friends, they're going to have to tell you things that you don't agree with or that you don't like. And you should be able to just hear it and say like, no, I wasn't because of this, that, and the third, and like explain yourself better, or say, ooh, yeah, I was. Let me fix that. You know what I mean? It's just a part of growing.
I love that. So, seeing that we're all in committed long-term relationships, I've got a clip that we're going to touch on, and it's about cheating.
Oh boy. Everybody's favorite topic, right? Precious and I love these videos. I know, we keep sending the same kinds of crazy ass.
I cannot handle it.
I'm like, all right, I got a Dr. Phil partner. I'm here for it.
Are the married couples still out here trying to convince us that cheating is not a deal breaker? That's crazy. I don't know how you feel like you could circle back from that. If I ever catch my husband cheating, I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know something's starting right now.
Me too, girl.
I have the same response I had when I was in a relationship with someone and caught them cheating. Them being my husband is no different. There's no loyalty there. What the is the point? You're a liar, a cheat. You're supposed to be my whole ass friend, Ace Boone Coon. We got each other's backs up in here. And you over here sleeping with another woman, and I don't even know what kind of mess you telling her. Because if you bringing BV back to me, I know you over here telling her all of my business. I will rip your head off and put that shit on backwards so you can see me kicking your ass. You let a man do that to you one time, he gonna do it again. He's showing you what kind of man he is. He is showing you his character, and you sitting here telling myself, of course you shouldn't internalize when a man cheats on you. But you ain't gotta forgive him for it either. Holding on to men for dear life who don't have self-control or self-discipline. I think you better let it go. Let it go, baby. You be alright, sis. You can find you a whole ass husband that would never do nothing like that. It's weird to me that men be trying to convince women that cheating is just normal and it's a man's manly thing to do to sleep around. You get that bullshit out of here. You know how many other men women look at and think are handsome and never thought, oh, I should cheat on my husband with them?
Exactly.
Legitimately, that's crazy.
Let me tell you, I know we all have a lot to say about this. I think mine will be the quickest, so I'll go first. I agree with everything that she said here. Like, let's be honest, when you commit to somebody under the covenant of God, fidelity is something you promise your partner.
Right.
Like, there's no reason for someone to say, I want to marry you, I want to be with you for the rest of my life, but I also want to stick my dick in her, and her. No. There's toys for that. Like, we can experiment, my guy. Like, don't take this out. This also leads me to, because people always think about physical cheating, but nobody ever talks about emotional cheating. Nobody ever talks about whether or not your partner should have a work wife. No, my husband cannot have a quote-unquote work wife. I'll kill that bitch. Like I'm not even hinged enough. I will kill that bitch. It's not okay for you to feel like you're the plus one in your relationship. And I'm not even saying that you can't get over cheating, because yes, it's tough, but I do believe that with the right partner, it's something that could be overcome, but it fully 100% depends on the circumstances. And this is what I mean. If my husband started having an emotional affair with someone, and then next thing you know, he boned her, that was completely within your control. You could have stopped that at any time, before it even got there. So no, there's no fixing it. Because not only did you break my trust by confiding in this other woman and giving her emotional intimacy that's supposed to be reserved for me, but then you went and fucked her? And you want me to forgive you? No. That's not okay. However, if he ever goes to Guam and he meets gas station Nina and he heard good things about her, like I get it. You had to, the one time to see if she was still loose or not.
She'd have been passed around the whole island.
Yeah, she just wants some noo-noo. That's all. But I do feel like, cheating isn't 100% a deal breaker for me because I'm married. And I think that's the important thing. When you marry someone, there is a for better or worse clause through sickness and in health. So I feel like if we talked about it, if we went to therapy, there are just aspects I wouldn't be able to get over. And that would be the thing that broke our marriage. Not the fact that he cheated, but finding out the reasons why.
Yeah.
Lizzie, what you got?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm very much that kind of a person. It doesn't matter what the action is. It could be cheating. It could be anything. And I always want to know why. Because if I understand why, we can work it out. We can get past it. Or we can figure out if we can work it out. You know what I mean? But if I don't know why you did it, now I'm just making stuff up in my own head. And I'm just like, oh, you did it because of this. You did it. Like, I could be very much wrong. So that is, you said it right, Michelle. Like, that's exactly it. For me, this is so hard. I don't feel like cheating has to do anything with like being married, because I feel like I would treat it the same way. I don't know. That's not true, because I feel like it's easier to leave when you're single. So it's like, oh, you cheated, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, no question, no thought. Like, I'm not even about to get crazy. I always thought that I would be the type to be like, oh, you know what, whatever, bust your windows. I don't have the energy, I don't have the time. I'm not going to jail for you. Bye. You're not worth it. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, I would be angry. Yeah, I would be mad. But more than anything, I'd be hurt. And that's really what it is. It's like the anger is really just coming from a place of hurt. So I don't know. So how does marriage factor into it? I think, yes, I would try therapy just to see if it's salvageable. But honestly, I would have no problem leaving. Why? Because, I do believe in a Bible-based marriage, and cheating is like, it doesn't say that you have to get a divorce if you're cheated on, but you can. When your partner steps outside the marriage, if your partner steps outside the marriage, you don't have to have any guilt about it. You know what I mean? They broke that covenant that the two of you made with God, and that's that. So
you also shouldn't have to pay him.
Shut up, Danny.
Wait, what? Who had to pay what? What? Oh, hell no. I'm taking your money. Like, if you cheat on me, I'm taking all your money. Fuck half. Right. I'm taking all of it. It's mine. You will pay. My feelings were hurt, and I will hurt your pockets. Don't play.
Woo! Get it, girl.
Fellas. That's all.
Shut up, Danny. It's a girl show.
No, we got to go into the last 15 minutes.
Hold on. Let Precious and Marana go first. We didn't even start till 7:30. Shut your mouth.
That's true.
We're almost out of time.
Blah, blah, blah. Go ahead, Precious.
Yeah, see, I've been cheated on, like, in the past. So this is just like, no. Like, obviously, like, I think I'd feel differently. It would almost be worse because I'm married. Because that's supposed to be, like, the thing that doesn't happen. And I think I agree with you, Michelle, that like it can be overcome with the right person, but the fact that like I don't know if I could I don't know, that's rough.
That makes sense for you though, because you have past cheating trauma. Like I was cheated on twice in my lifetime, and my ex even cheated before our relationship ended for the last time. But your situation is completely different because someone completely disregarded your feelings and then traumatized you over and over and over. Like, it would make sense if you didn't forgive cheating, because everybody deserves to have hard limits. And based on your past, that would be a hard limit for me.
Yep.
Marana, What you got real quick before Danny starts young ladying us all?
So I can echo what you guys all said. I've been cheated on before too, and it's an awful, awful thing. But I'm with somebody who's been cheated on before as well, so he knows what it's like. And so I feel like we've had a chance to talk about all that, and we both have basically an understanding. Like, hey, if I'm not living up to my end of the bargain, and you're looking around and whatever, just let him know. Hey, give me a heads up so I can at least fix it. That's our deal. Is at least let me know before you step out so I can at least try to fix what's wrong, what I'm doing wrong. Because obviously if you're stepping out, you're missing something. Of course, and there's those people that are just greedy as well. But I too believe in the biblical view of marriage, whereas a marriage was designed by God to reflect the relationship that Christ had with his church. The church is his bride. And, I do believe in being the submissive one, because that's how Christ and the church is. We submit to Christ. But Christ loved the church so much. He lived for her. He died for her. He bled for her. Everything that he did was for her. That everything was about the church. His life was that church. So when it comes to a marriage, the husband's life is the bride. And we remember that one of these days, I know, like one of these days, I'm going to have to stand before God and give an account for Chris. I think that a spouse is somebody that God blesses you with. He's a gift that God gives to you. And here he is entrusting us to take care of one of his precious gifts. And one of these days, we're going to have to stand before him and answer for what kind of shape are we returning them in? Are they tattered and bruised and beaten? Or have you taken care of them and cherished them and loved them like you would want somebody to do with something you gave to them as well? So that's just my view on it.
Amen, girl.
Amen.
Yes.
That's so powerful.
Wow.
That is so powerful. Look, ladies, thank you for taking over It Goes Down the DM with me today. I totally appreciate it. We're going to let our significant others come for the last few minutes of the show, and they're going to ask us some questions that men want to know from a woman's perspective. Honey, can you introduce our male panel?
Let's do it, our male panel. My man, Chris, who is the incredible significant other of Marana. What's going on, my brother?
What's up, dude?
And my man, Shane, my boss, my fellow band member now. I love it, bro.
Main man.
Shane, what's up, bro?
Good to be back, man.
He is the husband of my incredible sister, Precious. And, of course, my brother, Andy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here. Y'all pregnant yet?
I'm sorry?
Y'all pregnant yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. We'll let you know, though, buddy. Welcome to the show. And, of course, the husband of the fantastic Lizzie. All right, so we have the ladies here. For the last 15 minutes, it's the gentleman takeover, where we ask them all the questions we want to ask. Anything you've ever wanted to ask a panel of ladies, go ahead. And ladies, you can't hold this against us, okay? You got to remember that.
I was just thinking I'm not asking anything because I'm going to have to deal with it later. You know what I'm saying?
No, you guys get carte blanche this time.
See, y'all say that to trap us.
Right, everything's a trap. And that was my question.
Pregnancy is
very good. Very good. That happened to me, actually. So.
I will never
Listen.
get that DM in my life. I hope he doesn't get you pregnant and leave.
Yeah, my baby mom DM'd her and said that to her. I hope he doesn't get you pregnant and just leaves you.
Michelle, you should have took advantage and said, fuck, he already did.
No, I'm trying to not speak that into my life right now.
All right, ladies, here's my question for you, okay? I don't care how disrespectful it is, but it is what it is. Listen, do you really think to do things because you really care about your partner, or are you always seeking to get something out of every situation?
You know, to be honest, it depends what I'm doing. Like, regular things that I do for you every day, cooking, cleaning, making sure, the house is in order, I do that because I care. I do it is because the role I accepted as your wife. Extra things, like you get sex twice in one day, I'm asking you for something expensive the next day. And I saw this you get sex twice and a blowjob that day, I'm asking you for something in the triple digits. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I love doing things for you. Sometimes I'm out shopping, I think about getting you stuff. That's completely natural. But let's not act like I don't premeditate asking for big ticket items.
Dude, one more blowjob and you're buying a house.
You got a blowjob and she got a phone. I don't want to hear shit from you.
You're fucking stupid, dude. Oh my god, you're so fucking retarded.
All right, fellas, do you have any question for the ladies here?
Chris, I know you got one.
I'm going last.
You fuck!
Do I have the right to answer Danny's question?
Yeah, you guys can answer. Absolutely.
No, so I do things. I'm not a tit for tat kind of person. I don't do things.
I believe
because I'm
women
trying
just
to get-
scheme to do to seek something out of every situation.
No, I
Sounds
really
like a
don't.
you problem, homie.
I
Yeah,
really
right?
believe
Who
that.
hurt you?
I really believe that.
No, I
I'm
really
glad
don't.
you say what I want to.
He just found out it's partially
You
true.
guys
Give
are-
him some
guys-
slack.
I'm gonna keep it real, yo.
This is what's frustrating. No, this is what's frustrating though. Is I'm not a tit for tat. I am never ever looking to get something from you, other than your approval and your affection. That's all I want. I want to know that I'm wanted. I want to know that I'm loved.
That's crazy. That's wild.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
No, the only thing I'm ever looking for in stuff is just knowing I'm appreciated, knowing I'm wanted, knowing I'm loved, and getting affection. That's the only thing I ever expect.
So for me, I don't do things to get something directly. I don't feel like I do things to encourage things though. Like,
Oh, she's plotting.
yeah, I'm definitely. I mean,
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm a smart lady.
Women plot.
But no, but I will. No.
She's
But
sneaky
I
time
will.
plotting.
I'm not. It's not sneaky because I'm really honest about it. I wouldn't be saying it right now if I was sneaky. You know what I mean? And the thing is, he knows. Like, I don't even know if he'll have any questions. Just because we just have these really open conversations about stuff all the time. But like, all right, if I know that I can do something that will make you have a better day at work tomorrow, and you're gonna be a better employee, and it's gonna get you a raise. Hell yeah, I'm gonna do it for you. Like, I'm gonna hook you up. You know what I mean? So if it's
What are you seeking out of it, though?
see, but that's the thing. It's not for me necessarily. It would be for us or for our family. I'm definitely a team player. It's not like, oh, I want this thing from you. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's
Sure.
not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's never really to my own benefit. I feel like I genuinely just want Chris to have a good day. Like when I get up and I make him breakfast, and it's honestly to make his day easier because I know he bears a big burden, and whatever I can do to lighten it, that's what I want to do.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Marana. Like, I just notice shit, and I will just do it just to do it because I know
Precious,
that
you don't get to be in this. You're the nicest person I know, married to the other nicest person I know. like the two of you make me sick, actually. You don't even get to answer this question because you're too nice. She was like, Shane had a bad day today. I put some Snickers on the Instacart order because he loves Snickers. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're so nice. I told Danny to kick rocks 5 minutes ago. What do you mean?
That's the kind of
That's
stuff
what I
I do
get.
too. I'll get stuff for Chris
Yeah.
just because I know he likes it, just because I want him to have a surprise.
Yeah, just because, or even if you see it and
I
you're like,
want him
oh,
to have
damn.
that extra surprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like doing nice things for him.
It, like, genuinely, like, I
Good thing
thrive on
something
that
from their
shit.
book,
I
honey.
really thrive on that shit.
Me and Precious had to put some boundaries up because it was like anytime I would talk about something, like it would be at the house a couple days later.
No,
when
dude,
we
I
were
went
dating.
into
I was like,
debt
this is
doing that for a
scary.
girlfriend of mine. I went into debt doing it. Like, literally, I did that and spent so much money on a credit card.
You know,
She kept
I-
talking
I'm
about
terrible with
anything.
that.
Like, she would talk about a candy that she, like, thought about from when she had it as a kid. And I'd just buy, and it would be at her house. She wouldn't know. It was a
You know,
surprise.
I used to do that for Dan before he was here. Like one day he was talking about self-care, so I cashed out.
Yeah, it
him
was
and,
so
like, for
sweet.
self-care. I used to get him like sending money so he could buy candles from his favorite candle place. Like, I don't always do things for him because I want something, but I'm not gonna lie that there are times where there is a motive, and I think that that's okay.
I don't. Fellas, do you have any questions for the ladies?
I'm struggling with this because I'm the person who always asks questions. Anyone who knows me knows that's true. I'll just
Curious fucking George over here.
savagely interrupt people to ask questions. So I need to understand what the hell you're talking about. So
I'm the same way though. That's my animal. It's my spirit animal.
I've asked Precious like everything under the sun, just all kinds of crazy shit. So I'm struggling to come up with something over here.
Ask us something that you've asked Precious before.
Yeah, she doesn't have to answer.
Something like that I've asked Precious
Yeah, like
before.
a relationship question. You would probably
Yeah.
already know my answer, but something like.
I'm thinking, what's one that I asked you recently? I just learn the answers and then forget what the hell I say. I don't even remember what I say.
I don't know.
Do you just blurt things out into the fucking universe and just hope something happens?
Yeah,
to it?
kinda.
Yeah, kinda.
And then once it happens, you just let it go. It's like whatever.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right,
Good to know. Just gonna add that to my mind.
No, but you don't add it to your mind, as we learned tonight.
I add the answer, not the question. Here's
Understood.
one that I asked before. I said, "What does the word fine mean?"
Do you ask that to a woman?
Oh, that's
a good question. That is a good question.
Honestly,
Because clearly I don't know.
it depends on how I say
Well,
it.
I do now, because I remember the answer.
Like, if you ask me and you know I'm annoyed, I'm going to tell you I'm fine because you know I'm annoyed. Like, you see me being annoyed over here. Why the fuck would you ask me that? Or if I want some, if we're hungry and I can't decide and you say, is Taco Bell okay? Yeah, that's fine. I actually mean that that's fine. So it really depends on...
Tell your tone that.
Yeah, no, tell your tone that. Because it depends on how you ask the question, which fine you get. That's not me.
Taco Bell's never
Thank
fine.
you, ladies.
No, this is wild.
We just had a tone conversation yesterday. I feel that.
We did.
I want to ask this to the room, and because all of us are in committed relationships, I think it's really interesting to see. Yeah, somebody is
Their dog. Their dog is eating the Fritos.
Taking out of the package. Sorry for.
Oh no, it's okay. I want to eat
messing with
too.
you.
I know, right?
Okay. So the question here, and I'm really curious to see what everybody in the room says, is love a feeling or a choice? This is a question that comes up a lot, and I know that it's different for everybody. So, ladies, what do you feel?
I think it's a feeling, a choice, and a verb. You feel it.
I do.
You act on it. You choose to love somebody. Say, like, I'm going to use this. You're in a relationship. You're in a marriage, and then you see these women that want to step outside. They found their fling from high school, whatever. And like, I can't help it. I love him. No, you're choosing to interact with him. You're choosing to step outside of your marriage. You're choosing that. And I feel like you do know whenever you found your match. You know, I think that there are a lot of options, but there should only be one choice.
So I know I'm not a lady.
I agree with that.
Okay, Andy. All right.
Choose
I'm
your
with you, Andy. I'm lining
identity.
something up too.
So horny is a feeling, love is a choice.
I like that.
I love it. No, this is good.
Keep going. Keep going. Like
Exactly what I'm talking about. All right.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. Mic drop. All right.
I believe you can feel love for someone, but you choose whether or not you act on that feeling. Like,
I can see that.
I believe wholeheartedly loving someone from a distance is realistic. There are people whom I do love, who I have so much love for, who cannot come 50 feet toward me. Like, stay over there because you're too toxic. And that's okay. It's okay to choose to love someone from afar. But that feeling, I feel like it'll always linger. You'll always have some sort of love for that person in your heart, unless they just really fucked you up. Because there are people who, I mean, I wouldn't spit on them if they were on fire.
Oh my. No, I agree with that.
Wow.
So Chris hasn't asked the question yet. Does he have a question?
Oh,
no, Chris is
I'm not
being-
asking the
he's not
questions,
asking
Danny
a
is.
question.
well, all right. Thank you, ladies, so much for answering that and for your panel. Your panel was fantastic.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Thank you.